Commander Zexathara's 6 arms trembled as she received the emergency transmission. Her obsidian carapace gleamed under the harsh lighting of the bridge, reflecting her agitation. The Kethmori were apex predators of the Andromeda sector, feared across 17 star systems for their razor-sharp claws and ability to hunt in perfect silence. Nothing, absolutely nothing, could threaten their young. "Commander," her lieutenant chittered nervously. "The cubs have been missing for 6 standard hours. The last sensor reading placed them near the human quarters." Zexathara's mandibles clicked in fury. Humans, the galaxy's newest addition to the Intergalactic Council, and already they were proving problematic. These bipedal creatures had somehow convinced the Council they were peaceful explorers, but Zexathara knew better. Any species that had clawed its way up from a death world like Earth had to be dangerous. "Assemble a strike team," she hissed. "If those mammals have harmed my cubs..." The corridor leading to the human quarters felt endless. Zexathara's claws extended involuntarily as she imagined the worst. Her 3 cubs, barely a cycle old, were the pride of her clutch. Kira, Vex, and Little Nith had been exploring the ship's botanical section when they vanished. The strike team reached the human quarters with weapons drawn. The door hissed open, revealing a sight that made every Kethmori warrior freeze in: their tracks. There, in the center of the room, sat a human male on a cushioned floor mat. His name badge read, Marcus, Xenobotanist. His dark hair was tousled, and his clothes were rumpled. But that wasn't what stopped the warrior's cold. Curled up on his chest, purring like tiny engines, were all 3 cubs. Kira had wrapped her small arms around the human's neck, her silver fur rising and falling with his breathing. Vex was sprawled across his lap, one tiny claw hooked contentedly in the human's shirt. Little Nith, the runt of the litter, was nestled in the crook of his arm, making soft chirping sounds that indicated complete contentment. What is this?" Zexathara whispered, her translator struggling with the emotion in her voice. Marcus looked up, his brown eyes wide with surprise at the armed contingent. "Oh, Commander Zexathara, right? I was hoping you'd come by. I tried calling, but I didn't want to wake them." "Wake them?" The commander's voice rose an octave. "You've taken my cubs hostage and you're concerned about their sleep schedule?" Marcus blinked, genuine confusion crossing his features. "Hostage? No, you've got it wrong. They found me in the botanical bay about 6 hours ago. I was cataloging the Terran rose samples when these little ones wandered in." He gently stroked Kira's fur and the cub purred louder. "They seemed distressed, crying and chittering. I figured they were lost, so I sat down to keep them calm while I tried to contact you, but then..." "But then what?" Zexathara demanded, though her weapons were slowly lowering. Marcus smiled, and for the first time Zexathara noticed how tired he looked. "They climbed all over me and fell asleep. I've been sitting here for hours, afraid to move and wake them. My legs went numb about 2 hours ago, but they looked so peaceful." One of Zexathara's warriors, a grizzled veteran named Korax, stepped forward. "Commander, my scanner shows no signs of distress in the cubs. Their biometrics indicate they're in a deeper, more restful sleep than we've recorded before." "That's impossible," Zexathara muttered. "Kethmori cubs only sleep that deeply when they feel completely safe. Our young are hardwired to remain alert, unless..." She stopped mid-sentence, staring at Marcus. The human was absently humming a low, rhythmic tune while continuing to pet Kira. The sound was unlike anything in Kethmori culture, yet her cubs were responding to it as if it were the most natural thing in the galaxy. "You've been sitting here for 6 hours?" she asked quietly. Marcus nodded. "I sent a message to your quarters around hour 2, but I guess you were busy. I didn't want to use the emergency channels and risk frightening them with loud noises." He prioritized the cubs' comfort over his own," whispered Korax. "Commander, in 17 years of military service, I've never seen anything like this. An apex predator's young, completely vulnerable, choosing to sleep on an unknown alien." Zexathara approached slowly, her weapons now holstered. As she drew near, Little Nith stirred and opened one eye. Instead of the alarm call she expected, her youngest simply chirped contentedly and closed his eye again. "They trust you," she said, wonder coloring her voice. "But how? Why?" Marcus shifted slightly, wincing as circulation returned to his legs. "I have a theory, if you'd like to hear it." "Speak." "Your cubs were distressed when I found them, scared, and alone. On Earth, when human children are frightened, we comfort them, we hold them, we sing to them, we let them know they're safe. It's instinctual for us." He looked down at the sleeping cubs with genuine affection. "I guess distressed. Young ones are distressed young ones, no matter what species." "You risked your safety," Zexthera said slowly, "sitting motionless for hours with 3 potentially dangerous predator cubs because you thought they needed comfort?" "Well, yeah." Marcus looked at her as if the answer was obvious. "They're just babies. Babies shouldn't be scared and alone." Corax made a sound that might have been a laugh. "Commander, the human's reputation precedes them. They're pack bonding with everything that moves." For the first time in years, Zexithara felt something other than suspicion toward another species. She knelt beside Marcus, extending one careful claw to stroke Vex's fur. Her middle child opened both eyes, saw his mother, and gave a tiny yawn, before snuggling deeper into Marcus's lap. "The council briefings mentioned human pack bonding instincts," she said thoughtfully. "I assumed it was propaganda." Marcus chuckled softly. "We've got a saying on Earth, it takes a village to raise a child. I guess for us the village includes everyone." As if responding to their mother's presence, the cubs began to stir. One by one, they woke, stretched, and looked between Marcus and Zexithara with sleepy contentment. Kira nuzzled Marcus's cheek before scrambling over to her mother. "They'll remember this," Zexithara said as she gathered her cubs. "Kethamori have perfect memory of their first cycle. They'll remember the human who kept them safe." Marcus smiled, finally able to stand and stretch his cramped limbs. "I hope they remember being safe and loved. That's what every kid deserves." As the group prepared to leave, Zexthara turned back to Marcus. "The Kethamori do not forget debts, Marcus of Earth. You have protected what is most precious to me." "No debt necessary," Marcus replied, gathering up his scattered research notes. "Just, maybe next time they go exploring, give me a heads up. I'd hate for them to get lost again." Zexithara's mandibles spread in what might have been a smile. "Marcus of Earth, you now have the protection of the Kethamori pride. More than that, you have our respect." As they walked back through the corridors, little Nith kept looking over his mother's shoulder at Marcus, chirping softly. The sound that had once meant distress now carried a different meaning entirely. Later, in her quarters, Zexthera filed her report. Under the section marked Threat Assessment Humans, she deleted her previous entries and wrote simply, "Recommend immediate alliance. Species demonstrates unprecedented protective instincts toward all young life. Potential for mutual benefit extraordinary." Then she added a personal note. "Request extended cultural exchange with xenobotanist Marcus. Cubs require additional socialization." In the depths of space, on a ship full of warriors and diplomats, 3 young predators dreamed peacefully of gentle hands and soft humming, while their mother began to understand that sometimes the most dangerous thing about humans wasn't their capacity for violence, it was their boundless capacity for love.